Hello, dear students. I am Samir Velankar. I welcome all of you to this second video on the ER model. In the previous video, we saw the definition of ER model and how it really coincides with a civil engineering application, which actually starts by creating a miniature model on the table. Now, in this video, we will be seeing components of ER model. Now, actually, if you want to learn what is ER model, you just have to learn three things. The three things are entities, attributes, and relationships. So, any ER model strictly contains only these three things. Let's see what is an entity. Now, entity is actually any object or a physical thing that you can see, touch, or an existence is known as an entity. For example, employee working in an office is an example of an entity, or account in a bank is an example of an entity, or student studying in a college is an entity. So entity actually is a real life object that has some properties. The second thing is attributes. The attributes are nothing but properties of entities. Now every entity has properties. For example, you say that there is an employee, then surely employee will have some name. Employee will have some ID, isn't it? Let's call it as EMPID. Every employee is given some number. Every employee will have address. What these are, name, employee ID, address, are called attributes of the employee. For example, consider a student. Now, student will definitely have roll number. Every student will have roll number, name, address. Now, what this roll number, name, address is that they are the attributes of the student. Same goes with the account. Account will have account number, then account holder's name, whose account is this, address of the account holder, and so on. And the third thing that you have to understand in the ER model is relationships between various entities. We will see what the relationship means as we proceed. But now you watch that in the ER model, when you show an entity, how do you draw an entity? You know that ER model is nothing but a diagrammatic representation. So an entity is always shown in a rectangle, in a box like this, and the name of the entity is written inside that box. So here we are talking about student entity or teacher entity or projects entity. Please try to understand that this student is often also called as entity set. So I am loosely calling this as entity, student entity. But actually, this student is known as entity set because we don't have a single student, we have many students, isn't it? Many students. And each student is having name, roll number, or address, and so on. So actually, this student is a set of many students. Many students are there. So we call it as entity set. But in our literature, when we talk about entities, we generally use entity and entity sets uh, interchangeably. So many times I may call this as entity set, or many times I may call this as entity itself. Okay, so entities are shown in the form of rectangle. Inside that we write the names. Now, how are attributes shown? Attributes are shown in the form of ellipse, and in the ellipse we write the attribute. For instance, you read this particular diagram as student is an entity, isn't it? Student has name, student has birth date, student has roll number, isn't it? So this roll number, name, and birth date are nothing but properties of the student. And listen, there can be many students, isn't it? There are several students, and every student has name, birth date, and roll number. So attributes are nothing but properties, isn't it? Properties which belong to the entities, and attributes are shown in the form of ellipse. Now, the point is that there are many types of attributes. When you talk about attributes, we have something called simple attribute. Just check out the simple attribute here means an attribute which are atomic, which cannot be broken down further. But there are another type of attributes called composite attributes. Now, what is composite attribute? For example, name of a person is actually made up of three things. Name is made up of three things. First name of the person, like Samir, middle name of the person, like Yashwant, and last name of the person called Velankar. So actually name is an attribute, but name is comprised of three attributes, isn't it? First name, middle name, last name. As another example, address. Address is attribute of student, agreed. But address itself is comprised of building name, street name, and so on. So you can actually think of address is composite. Such attributes are called as composite attributes, isn't it? Now, first name, if you think of Samir as the first name, is atomic. You cannot further split this name. It doesn't make any sense. So name is composite, but first name, middle name, and last name are atomic. So how do you show composite attributes? You just check a student is an entity and student has name, but name is compositely made of first name and last name. I have not shown middle name here. And student has birth date, student has roll number. Now birth date also could have been composite. Like birth date is made up of day, month, month, and year. So we could have made birth date also as composite. Then roll number is atomic. There is no point in splitting the roll number and saying roll number is made up of three or four parts. So that is what is difference between simple. Simple is atomic, like roll number is simple here, and composite means it is made up of multiple attributes, isn't it? So name is composite here. Okay. Now more types of attributes we have, like derived attribute. Now, actually, these type of attributes, will be thrown away later on. We are not going to store such attributes. But initially, it is very important to study these attributes also when the customer gives requirement. For example, you can read here that student is an entity and student has age. Check this. Student has age. But actually, you never store age in the database. Because if you are going to store birth date in the database, come on, you can easily derive the age. Even if you tell me or I tell you that my date of birth is 15 to 1971, that's enough. And you can know my age, isn't it? You can calculate my age. So there is no sense in storing age. Then such derived attributes are shown in the dashed ellipse and we write the name of the attribute there. Remember, this age is going to be altogether not stored in the database and we will store only birth date. But remember, we are collecting our requirements and it is always better that we write the requirements properly without missing out anything. Can you make out a few more things here which we learned just a few minutes back? Just as a repetition, name is also an attribute of the student, but name is composite. Roll number is also attribute of the student, but name is roll number is atomic. Now, what about phone number? You see, student can have a phone number, isn't it? Now, you see that I have shown phone number in double ellipse. In double ellipse. Now, why really? Because one student can have multiple phone numbers. So this is actually multi-valued attribute. This is multi-valued attribute. What do you say is a single student can have two phone numbers or three phone numbers, isn't it? Possibly student might have exactly one phone number, but it might be that student has three phone numbers. In that case, every student is going to have three phone numbers. So this is a multi-valued attribute and it is shown as as a double ellipse. So when you are given an ER diagram using these symbols, you can make out lot of things, isn't it? just as an example, suppose, let's say I show something like an account here, and then ACCNO, after that name, that is having first name, middle name, and last name. Okay, then I have date of opening the account, DOP, date of opening. Now this has day, month, and year. Then I have something called address here. Okay, and address is having street number, building number, and let's say something like city. Okay, city. Now this is details of every account holder. Now account is an entity, correct? Entity, and you can make out account number is simple attribute. It can't be further broken down. But name is composite because it comprises of first name, middle name, last name. Date of opening the account contains day, month, and year, so it is also composite. Address is also composite, you see, because it contains street and all that. Now, how about if I show this address as a double ellipse? What will you say? Now, address has been shown by me as double ellipse because there is a possibility that an account holder can have more than one address. Maybe an account holder stays in Mumbai and Pune also, has two addresses. Then in that case, every account holder can have, I am saying may have, multiple addresses. So it's going to be composite. Are you understanding? So all these things can be understood once you understand these symbols. I hope you will go through this multi-valued attribute definition and what is the meaning of this symbol, which is double ellipse. And now in the next video, we are going to see the third thing, which is there in the ER model, relationships. I told you ER model is all about three things: entity, then attributes. And third thing is relation or relationships. Now we have learned entity are nothing but objects, attributes are nothing but properties of entities, and we have seen many types of attributes. And now we are going to learn what do you mean by relationship in the next video. Thank you very much.